Hello. We have another video, and I'm just going over what I've seen on the internet of late, where people are saying that Marvel is racist, and I kind of beg to differ. From my opinion, Marvel are not racist, they're just having problems bringing a lot of the black characters into the modern era. And I feel right now they're at a level where they're not that popular. So I'm gonna give you my views where I think Marvel's gone wrong with some of the black characters. Okay, we have a picture of Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Okay, they literally shoehorned Jonathan Majors as the next big thing. They picked him out there and said, "You're gonna be the next big thing. You're gonna spearhead the Kang Dynasty. You're gonna be the big bad villain." And Kang from the comic books, I don't remember him being black, so that's another problem where he seemed like a hand-me-down character. If that makes any sense. I know that sounds odd, but yeah, there's a thing, such thing as like once white characters are handed down to black characters or race swapped, and that messes with the mind frame of some of the audience, because you're seeing a character that was once portrayed as white, then as a black person. I can give you a case in point with something like Captain America. Even Wonder Man, I think was white in the comic books. So that's a bad thing as itself. Also, Jonathan Majors, he kind of had his own problems. So he weren't just it weren't just cancelled. Jonathan Majors got into a lot of legal problems, which actually cancelled his whole movie career. So it weren't the fact that he was black. He was doing crazy things outside of just making movies. That's what got him cancelled. He's gonna build back his career because he's a good actor. They're gonna exile him for a couple of years, then they're gonna let him come back in, and he's gonna come back bigger than what he was. Fingers crossed. I don't have nothing against him. He's learnt his lesson, and literally, it's one of those things where he don't feel like it was really earned the success he was given, because as I said before, sometimes Hollywood does this thing where they see someone and they pick them and they push them as far as they can go as the next big thing. And that's what they did with Jonathan Majors. He was in everything. He was in Netflix shows. He was Kang. He was in movies. He was in everything. And that's, you can tell they just pushed him. His agent was just pushing him. Now he's gone. Okay. Acolyte. This is okay. Midnight Angel. Don't know what that was. Let's see. Armored Wars. Armored Wars, it felt like that felt to me was meant to be a spin off, but it just never came to fruition. I don't think it was the right time to have Armor Wars. Secret Invasion Season 2. Secret Invasion Season 1 was so badly received that to make a Season 2 would have been almost like burning money. Because it was at a time where Marvel was on a diral, I was saying diral, a downward spiral when it came to their TV shows. What happened? There's just too much TV shows were out there, and it seemed like too much homework for the audience. Even for me, I had to like sit down and say, okay, what do I have to watch to keep up with what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And I understand they're trying to keep people entertained, but there's just way too many TV shows. So they overflood the market with way too much. And it's way too much for people's time. A movie here and there is one thing, but like hours of TV shows, I couldn't do it. Wonder Man, let's go back to Wonder Man now. That was a critically acclaimed show. I watched I watched one episode and fell asleep. And this is another hand-me-down character. So that's weird. So he was once white, then they turned him black. They said the show was good. I never watched it. I mean, as I said, I did watch it and fell asleep. So couldn't have been that good. Like the rating just wasn't there. Blade. This is sad because Blade was set up in Eternals. So, end of Eternals, you had this whole scene where you had Blade's voice. So you could tell they were trying to set up Blade, the Blade character, and they believed they were gonna make this Blade movie. But what had happened behind the scenes, there's a lot of rewrites, and at this time when they were trying to make Blade the movie, they were going through this like woke phase at Marvel where a lot of the movies were like female centric, and they were going to try to do the same thing with Blade. So they're going to have Blade and his daughter, something like that, some sort of passing of the torch. I know it sounds stupid, you know. So Blade wasn't going to be the lead character in his own movie. It was going to be, and what it is, they had written the movie as we want it, but people behind the scenes are trying to shoehorn these female characters within the movie as the central characters, and then Blade will be the second character in his own movie. And that was what they were doing when it came to something like Thor. You start to see like a female version of Thor. Ironheart, female version of Iron Man. Black Panther 2, female version. You start to see what they were trying to do. I can even go with Hawkeye as well, a female version. You start to see what they were trying to do at that period in time. And the scripts leaks, and people were just laughing at it, and they're like, "This can't be real. This can't be what they were trying to pull off." And that just became a thing where they got a little bit scared and they're like, "Oh, well, let's not make this movie." And also a lot of directors that were pinned to the movie, they walked away because they knew the script was just garbage. And it's what the script is what Marvel's pushing, and it was terrible. So they said, "So I ain't gonna direct this movie." So it was without a director. Would you want to put your reputation down to be the person that ruined Blade? No, and it ain't gonna be the director's fault. It's gonna be Marvel's fault if that ever happened, because Marvel are the ones pushing for this so-called Blade, where there's a female version, his daughter's there. That's what they wanted. That's why it started to stick in development hell, because no one wanted to direct this movie that they wanted. A lot of people say, who makes these movies? And Marvel said at one point, we make the movies. You know, because every movie has these elements in it that you can tell that they just sprinkle in. Right? And also, are they based? Let's think about Captain America. Captain America, Brave New World. It wasn't a bad movie, but it stank of desperation. And that Captain America, again, yes, yeah, I know, a hand-me-down character. So you have a once white character being handed down to a black character, and it feels like they rinsed Captain America out for several movies, and they had nothing more to do with him. So they're handing down to this black dude, and you can have him now. That's what it looks like. We're done with him now. You can have him. Black folks, you can have Captain America. You can be Captain America. And the movie stank of desperation because it felt like they were so desperate to get people in the cinema. They actually released some of the major plot twists, and like Harrison Ford turned to Red Hulk. That's what you go to the cinema for, and that's what you go for, the surprise, and that's what gets people to come and give you good word of mouth. But they all show that in the trailer. And once you saw that in the trailer, you there's no point. You've seen the movie. And when I did watch the movie, I was like, wait a minute, there ain't nothing that was in the trailer that I didn't see in the movie. It's like I saw the whole movie in the trailer. It wasn't anything too great that I didn't see in the trailer that was in the movie. And you meant to get a little surprise when you go to see the movie and be like, oh, that wasn't in the trailer. And that's what they do with Spider-Man. Spider-Man, they do misdirections. You start seeing him in a different suit. Certain characters are doing certain different things because they know not to ruin things. They're not that desperate. And that's between Sony and Marvel. So it's not like they know what they're doing with Spider-Man. That's why Spider-Man's breaking records. Because when you see the trailer, that isn't not really what's going on in the movie. There's characters missing, there's people missing in the background, and they kind of misdirect you because a lot of people try to break down trailers and they kind of ruin the movie. But yeah, Marvel. Let's see. I'm gonna say. Let's see what's going on here. Notable Council Marvel projects include Wonder Man season 2, Avenger King Dynasty, unexpected versions. Let's see. Yaya Abdul Masud. Let's see. Shield, Agent of Shield spin-off pilot. Mockingbird, ABC's ultimate pass on order in the series. New Warriors, complete reform pilot featuring Squirrel Girl. That sounded terrible. That was shelved due to corporate and creative disagreements. Ghost Rider, planned Hulu adventure into Fear series, blah blah blah. I think the Ghost Rider one, they felt like they from a long time they felt like they wanted to get that recast. But I don't know, someone said Kang Dynasty. Crying emoji. Small potatoes. No backing, no good directors, and poor planning for black films is racism. It's called systematic and it's designed to not be noticeable. Think about it. I'm gonna give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. Most of these characters are hand-me-downs, and like Nick Fury, he was once David Hasselhoff was Nick Fury. If you can remember, you can look backwards and you can see David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. So Samuel Jackson's characters are hand-me-down, but he done a better job. When Marvel was creating most of the cinematic universe, way back when, there was a lot of racism. There wasn't a lot of black characters at the forefront. Black people weren't at the forefront. So they created these characters in a time period when there was a lot of racism. So when it comes to modernizing the characters, the most they can actually do is invent new characters, which doesn't really work because nobody knows them. Everyone knows Spider-Man. Or you end up having hand-me-downs. This is why I'm saying I don't think they're truly racist. And also, a lot of these projects were cancelled because the momentum that Marvel had is gone. I'm going to tell you one thing. If this came out if they tried to do a Blade movie in the height of Marvel's fame, it would have worked. And even if it flopped, people would have still watched it and it would have still made money. Now they're at a level where their film production's down. They're probably only releasing like 2 movies for the year. They used to release maybe 4. But I don't think they're racist. One person said, "Man, Disney really hates seeing black people thrive." I mean, nah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case, really. Like, a lot of these shows there's always a reason for. I can't believe they produced so much BS over a Blade movie. Yeah, the Blade movie, it kind of sticks out that they could not make that Blade movie with that actor. But it's weird how you got Blade in Wolverine and Deadpool. But that was just a cameo with Wesley Snipes. But it kind of sticks out in a way where they said Wesley Snipes was too old. And Mahershala Ali, how old is he now? He's going to be the same age they said that Wesley Snipes was too old. So it kind of looks stupid when Wesley Snipes was there and they said he was too old. And now they waited maybe 5-6 years, still haven't made a Blade movie. And if they ever get round to making a Blade movie, who they gonna call? Wesley Snipes? Ali? Because both of them are gonna be old. And I think Mahershala Ali was the perfect person to replace Snipes in that role. And now you let him age out. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'm out.